Okay, so it's saying we now are live broadcasting. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm on Google Hangout and I'm on a different camera. So for those who have been with me doing all these test runs today, I would love to know which camera looks the better or the latter or, you know, let's see if I'm trying to play with the one on, okay, good. So I'm going to go, I know that I'm live. Yay. I'm on a different camera. And I'm going to look into the chat room. All right, so Freedom Works. Can you hear me since you're here? Because some people have been here and have left. Okay, let's see. How's the camera look? What crazy hair. I think that's pretty good. I'm trying to get the lighting right here. Hey, see my They Live? They Live sign up on the top area. Loud and clear. Okay, great. Hey, you guys, this is Shirley Husar. You're watching Shirley's World. Freedom Works says I'm live and clear. Thank God he's there. Hosea, Francesca. I don't know if I said his name right. Two peace signs. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching me. I am on a total different camera because I couldn't get the other cameras to work. So I changed my system until we can get the system right. We look like we're going to be doing more live broadcasts and we'll be doing it on Sundays. We're going to narrow down the time frame. I wanted to tell you about the upcoming shows. I'm going to be on Jay Black show. I will give you the description below, and that's going to be on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the conscious community versus the Black conscious community versus the Black conservative progressives, or just Black progressives, not conservative, Black progressives, because there's a difference in the two. And I thought that he had a very good analogy on that. So I'm a guest on his show. Earlier today, I was a guest on another show, the Frederick Douglass Foundation of Illinois. Those ladies are phenomenal. We talked about the whole Russian situation and Dr. Umar. And so if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I recorded that live on my show as well prior to this taping that I'm doing now. Anybody have any questions or input they want to give out there, let me know. This is an open forum show as people start to come in. That should be interesting. Yeah, that definitely was an interesting show because we did talk about their perspective and my perspective of Dr. Umar Johnson. And I'll share a little bit on this. I think that we get all too much into this man's personal life. And I want to know about what he's doing as far as the schools and without the school, what he has done and what he has contributed. Because this isn't what we're about. We're about this, right? So if we're about this, that red, white, and blue, if we're about making America great again, then we shouldn't be so much focused on people's personal success or failures. I think we need to talk about the issues going on in the urban schools. I met Dr. Umar about 6 months ago, maybe 4 or 5, 6 months ago. And he came to Los Angeles and I was excited. I sat and listened to him and he had a great speech event at a wonderful local church, and then afterwards he got out and he stayed all the way to the end and he talked to the audience and anybody who wanted to meet him. He took pictures. He was very cordial. He was very open. And I was one of those people. I got great time with him. I got FaceTime one-on-one with him, and I didn't get what everyone else was not getting. I thought this was a very not only articulate brother, but he also was a brother who had a vision of what he felt was needed in the community of his people. You remember, every Black person is different. Some people are all black, no cream, no sugar, just straight dark chocolate 5 times espresso. And that's what you get with Dr. Umar. I don't know what to tell you. I myself, I like a little cream and a little sugar in my coffee because that's the kind of country that we live in. So we have different ideology viewpoints on that. But as far as the embetterment of a people and a culture of people and their lifestyles and the economic plight that is upon them, I like what he has to say on that point. Any other questions? Oh, let me tell you about what else is happening out there. There are some things going on in the urban schools. I don't think many of you may know about this. And the things that are going on in those schools could really make a profound difference in where you want to put your child in school. Because we know that right now, Jeff Sessions has been in Nevada. He has also been in Los Angeles. He has been dealing with the health care issues, with the mismanagement of funds and the money of the health arena, and then we have mismanagement in the HUD arena with Ben Carson. So I'm predicting that the next thing they're going to be addressing is the education issue, and as far as illegal immigrants being able to put their kids through public schools that are federally funded. I believe a lot of those things are going to be cut because people don't know is that when people have these children who are illegal, the children might speak fluent English, but the parents did not want to and will not assimilate. So the children are speaking in behalf of the parents. I don't think that should be. I think that should be outlawed, and I think that should be illegal, um, because you have a child speaking for an adult when it comes to a parent-teacher conference because the child. Uh, this parent cannot speak English. So it purposely pushes out the teacher or the principal who is not bilingual. And that is a big issue in California. I don't know nationally, but locally, statewide, there's a lot of bilingual, half English, half Spanish. Now it's to the point that they don't really put energy towards the English speaking students as much as the Spanish speaking students. That's going to be transcended to dollars and signs real soon. So pay attention to the educational system, the Justice Department, and the whole parenting and child relationship in this immigration movement of exiting California, exit California. So that's something to think about. Again, I want to start doing more shows on Sundays. We're going to have different topics. I will be on Jay Black's show. He was amazing. And today I was on the Frederick Douglass Foundation of Illinois, which was a great show. I enjoyed being on that show as well. I also want you guys to keep about money. I was thinking about money the other day, and I was thinking about the fact that barter system. If you don't feel like you have a lot of money, or you're in a situation you're in a crunch, sometimes we just got to go without. Sometimes we just have to cut back, or sometimes we might just share. If you find yourself wanting to go to your favorite restaurant, you might just want to share a plate with a friend. You find out that you say, "Hey, I don't have much money for fruits and vegetables." Go to the 99-cent store. Find out there's certain produce after the farmers market. If you get there the last 5 minutes, and you say, "Hey, I don't have but maybe $3, and I've got kids, and I waited to the end. Do you have any produce that you can give me really, really, really cheap?" You'd be surprised. A lot of that produce at those farmers market they throw away at the end because they're so ripe and they can't keep it all. So the best deals at farmers markets are usually the last 5 to 10 minutes. So things that we can do, talk to friends and say, what do you do to save money? Anybody out there, what do you do to save money? Leave those comments in the comments section. Tell me, I mean, when you know that produce is so high, when you know that food is the quality food. I'm not talking about 99-cent Jack in the Box tacos. I'm talking about something that's really going to put some meat on your bones, or at least be very healthy for you to consume. Tell me, where do you think that we should go to get those things on a reasonable basis? Also, entertainment. I know many of you may not know about Cody. You might want to YouTube that one. Well, a lot of people, they do Cody. They are able to get movies and stuff at a very reasonable price. Some of them for free. You've got a lot of ways of entertainment. There's local community events that you can do with your children, so everything's not all cooped up on entertainment. You can watch my show. You can watch a lot of YouTube shows. Do you have to do cable and internet? That's a thought. You might just want to say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of the cable and just keep the internet because I have to see Shirley. So I want you to think about that. Cable versus internet, or both, or maybe just down to one. I have cable. I don't have, I mean, I have internet. I don't have cable because we don't watch cable. We're constantly on the internet. If I want to hear about news, there are live shows that are streamed online that I'm able to see the local news. But local news always is so negative. I just prefer to continue to watch live stream. So again, these are things that you can do to save money instead of cable and internet. Cut the cable, do the internet. There's some great things out there. What else is there out there? Clothes. Have you guys ever thought about going to some of the thrift stores? You'd be surprised. There's a lot of great deals on thrift stores. And if you have to have designers, what you can do is you can pick up your cell phone, and on Facebook, there's a marketplace where there's always people selling stuff at a major discount on things. Just type in anything, even some of those shows where you're up late at night and it says, this is the best thing in the world just to get you to buy. There's a lot of impulse buyers who buy and then they end up putting it on sale on Facebook Market. So look at things like that and tell yourself, when you think about your pocketbook, from the things that you wear to the food that you eat to the entertainment that you engage in your life, those three things, what can we do to save money on them? Because as we get more into this war, especially within California, your pocketbook is getting ready to be affected. If it's not through your taxes, it's going to be affected through your gas. It's going to be affected through maybe your registration, events and things you want to go to. The prices may go up because of the regulation and the stipulations that the legislators are putting on business owners to offset the money that they're trying to have set aside to help immigrants and illegal immigrants, knowing that Jeff Sessions could come at any time and start cutting federal funds on the state of California and other states that were stipulated in those 9 reciprocals I talk about in the Community Digital News. Have you guys gone and seen that article I wrote on the Community Digital News that talks about California looming? Make sure that you do that, because that way you will learn about the 9 cities and counties, and there's only one state that is in its entirety that's being under review. That's California, and that's the state I live in. So those are things that you need to do as far as the barter system. I will continue to say to you, it is up to you to make a conscious decision to watch, think, and act upon positive things in your life. Study NLP. NLP is neurological programming. It talks about feel, touch, taste, and hear. And sometimes when you are communicating with people, that person you talk to may not be of the same energy wavelengths. And that causes you to be frustrated and maybe even go into a slight depression. Your mood, your attitude affects your income, affects the things you put in your body, affects the outcome of what can happen the next day. So, we know that we live in times, I grew up where a lot of people went to church and they studied the Word of God. Now we're in an era where people don't want to go to church, or they just may read the Bible online, or they don't believe in the Bible. When you don't find yourself at a balance in your life, you might want to put a check on that spiritual point and think about Christ. I go to Abundant Life Family Church. Crenshaw Christian Center was my foundational church I was raised at. Find a church that makes sense and work for you. And if you're not a Christian, then I would say go to Abundant Family Life. I'll put the link down below after this video so that you're able to learn a little bit about that church. Because I feel that's important to have a spiritual base in your life. You say, well, I'm not a spiritual person, Shirley. I don't really care for any of that. But there's something wrong, right? You feel there's an imbalance in your life. You feel that you're frustrated and you don't know who to turn to, and you don't believe in that God everyone else talks to. I think that you have nothing to lose to talk to God. You have nothing to lose to read the Bible. You have nothing to lose. And if it's just you and yourself and talking to the wall, that's all that matters. You don't have to explain your life to everybody. You don't have to feel guilty. What you do have to do is feel responsible enough to want to live, to better yourself, to want to move forward financially, emotionally, and physically and financially. We are a culture of people, especially African American, where we find ourselves emotionally attached to too many things. We have to set our emotions aside. We have to look at things from a logical standpoint, and we have to look at something from an economic standpoint. Sometimes our cost of living is too high. If you're in a residence and you realize that 80% of your income is going towards the cost of living, you might want to move. It's going to be hard for you to want to do that, but you might want to work with someone in your family members in your life and say, you know what, if you mind, I think I'm going to let this place go. I'm going to cut back on my cost of living. I'm going to save so I can get to the next step. Remember, sometimes you got to step down to step up. Who else is out there? Oh, all right. Somebody put a church on there. Stephen Baptist Church. All right. En La Puenta. You're welcome. Thank you so much for putting up there. That's great. There's a lot of good churches out there. Freedom Works says that's why being around healthy, like-minded people. That's so good. That is so true. But what happens if you're friends and you are not positive and you don't have like-minded people? Then what you do, you come to Shirley and you come to my channel and you find channels that are really good. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there who are out there that are very positive and encouraging, and they're very specifically focused. If it's on health, if it's on hair, if it's on makeup, if it's just on living, if you just Google that in there. And just also meetups have great groups that specialize in an art form or a subject matter that you might be interested in, that you never thought of going into. You've always wanted to be an artist, right? So this is the way you can make America great again. You can go to meetup and start going to some art classes and meet people who are artists, because you said, oh, I wanted to do that. I didn't know how to get into that. So I totally agree with Freedom Works when it talks about, finding that interesting, healthy things that are better for you. And that should empower you. Going back to NLP, neurological programming, I studied with Matthew and Mike and Tom Ferry, and Matthew was where I learned about that. And it taught me that some people, when I speak to them, they may not be on the same energy wavelength, and I never knew why or what I was doing wrong. And then when I learned that, I've learned to be quiet first, which is really hard for someone who loves to talk like me. But you quiet your mind and you listen, and you realize that they might be a person that's more visual and you're a more person that's more oral, and you're conflicting in your conversation with them. When you're trying to develop a relationship with someone new, or a new subject matter, a new light on the matter, just learn to pull back a little bit and just go, really, that's interesting, tell me more, and find relatable viewpoints on that subject matter. Political ideology and notions in this country are very frustrating because everybody does not stay on the same page. So my advice to you is, it's no use to physically become engaged with these people where you're about to fight them. Sit back and listen to them and then say, okay, all the elevators don't hit the 4th floor or the 13th floor, so I'm gonna leave this one alone. But you might want to get a couple jabs in there, but when you feel that it's at a point you're not going to be able to convey your viewpoint, then let it go. Because all you can do is plant seeds of knowledge and goodness. If you cannot look at being at a person that pertains to giving information that adds value and credence into someone's life, it's not going to add value and credence into your own life, because you want to sow seeds of good soil. You want to sow seeds into good soil, as well as you want seeds to be planted into your good soil. That's why when you look at Freedom Works says we need to find like-minded people, because by our ways of finding those like-minded people, we are able to find people that are just in the same wavelength as us. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. I really didn't plan this show, and I did not uh, blurb it out to anyone. I just thought, okay, I just would see how it tastes, test all these new systems that are out there. This is the most easiest one for me, even though the other one is really nice because I'm able to put those taglines in there. Okay, Freedom Work, what do you say? That was the first thing that I tried to determine when I'm in training people. I have to find out what type of learner they are and avoid frustration. Yeah. Silence is power. Got to learn learn what these people are, what type of people they are, because it's not about you. And if you can get out of yourself and understand the love communication you can have for that person, you do good. But sometimes that person is so into themselves, you're so busy trying to fight to get into that person, there'll always be conflict. There'll always be conflict. So sometimes just let it go. I would say have a frozen moment. Let it go, let it go. Don't hold it back anymore. It ain't worth it. But it is that first evaluation that you need to have when you do talk to people. Um, oh, another thing I wanted you to keep in mind too. Um, do things that make you good to relax your body. Go get a massage. Go get your feet done. Go get your hair done. Try some of the Korean spas. I love the Korean spas. My favorite thing. Um, go do something that is totally not over expensive, but still totally good for your body and your mind. Because when you're able to pull yourself out of that circumstance or that situation or that moment of frustration and cut that energy and get into another pattern, you're able to come back into that energy flow and manage it better. And that's the key thing, is managing that energy to the point that it works well for you. And then you're able to address the people who are in front of you on a better note. That is it, people. Thank you so much for following me. I appreciate it. We're going to try to do some more Google Hangouts and some more live feed. I am going to be live this Wednesday. I will get the information. I'll put it down below. And I'm going to be on Jay Black's show. Make sure you follow him. He is like phenomenal. I love him. And that's it. Any more questions? Nope. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.